Much better role models.
Oh,
Boy,
this meeting is
does that
being
take you
recorded.
back, Twiggy.
Who
Ooh.
said that?
Oh, seriously, yeah.
Oh, so I wanted to share with everybody my son's favorite cocktail. So he was in a terrible mood one day, and we were arguing back and forth, and I was trying to convince him trying to find something he wanted to drink. And I said, do you want milk? Do you want soda? Do you want water? Do you want juice? And he's like, no, no, no. And finally I was like, Jamin, what do you want to drink? And he's like, nothing. And I'm like, fine. So I stomp off into the kitchen and I make the most beautiful drink I can come up with. And I bring it back to him and I slam it down on the table and I say, there, that is a nothing cocktail. And he takes, he looks at it, and he looks at it again, and he picks it up and he drinks it, and he drinks the whole thing. And he's in a much better mood, and he says, Mommy, that was really good. Can I have another nothing cocktail?
Oh, that's nice. A nothing cocktail. What was it?
Yeah, so how do you make a nothing cocktail?
A nothing cocktail starts with orange juice.
Okay.
And the first thing you do is you take some strawberry sauce that is thicker than the orange juice. And you have to pour very gently.
Strawberry?
Yeah, you have to pour very gently.
Oh,
you get a layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get a layer.
This is how you start the flaming Bob Marleys.
Oh, yeah. We used to do those.
Did you?
So you get a nice, pretty bottom layer there.
Yeah.
And then, the pièce de résistance, you take your pink lemonade and you put a few drops of blue food coloring in it.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Ooh. Sorry, and I almost missed a step, which would have ruined everything. In between the strawberry layer and the blue lemonade layer, you've got to add some ice to stop the blue lemonade from sinking. So you add some ice.
Where did you learn how to do all this?
I inspiration from mommy done. Actually, there's too much.
Jana, don't lie to him. This is what they taught you at Middlebury.
I was in the substance-free dorms. I was a wicked nerd.
They have those in college?
They have those.
Oh yeah, UVM has those. Oh, look at that.
So this is what I made him.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's pretty.
It's prettier on your side.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So it is a nothing cocktail. It was very beautiful, and it took my son out of a determined bad mood and has been our favorite drink as a result ever since.
Oh, excellent.
Very nice.
I'm drinking water. I said I would drink a beer, but I'm late because I'm doing like an 8-week workout program, and they were really mean to us today. And they were so mean today.
You want us to call them up and talk to them, or what?
Yeah, because and it's hard because it's like 92 here and sunny, and the gyms aren't open yet, so we have to work out outside on the asphalt. So it's like 110 degrees. So I'm just trying to cool down. I literally just got here.
Oh, wow.
Hydrate.
You're lucky somebody doesn't have a heart attack out there. That's not too
Seriously, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I know. That isn't too smart.
They put like the pop-up tents up so there's some shade, and then they have the fans that blow mist. But I mean, on days like today, it just doesn't make a difference, especially when they're like killing you, like with the exercises too.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yep. Well, whatever.
And it looks like David Kaminsky is also joining us.
Yes, hello.
Oh, nice.
I am logging on a little bit late. Hello, everybody.
Hey, David.
Nice to see everyone. Congratulations on making it through in this COVID time with the long walk.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I really hope we can actually get together in person again next year. Cross your fingers for an effective vaccine that is accessible to all.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously. And that people take it.
And that people take, yeah.
Right.
Popular,
There's so many
accessible, and
variables at
effective.
work here.
Yeah.
Tucker wanted to come say hi. He was whining in the background because he can't sit. I was telling him he couldn't sit on my lap while I do calls, but there he
So
is.
mean.
But yeah, it's usually this is where he lays when I take all my calls because otherwise he cries.
Oh, so you're spoiled.
Right?
I have
Very,
noticed that
spoiled.
all of our pets have gotten quite spoiled during the pandemic.
You know, they're really going to suffer when people have to go back in the office.
I know. They're going to
cry
all day.
I know.
Oh.
He hasn't seen me all day, so he's like extra pumped. What are you doing?
So, Alex, are you joining us for cocktails?
Not a cocktail, but I do have a beer. So cheers! Congratulations, Jana.
That is a fancy looking beer.
No,
Beer
it's
is that?
Frost. Oh, he's got double slush. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a, what is it? It's an Imperial India Pale Ale. Tasty, but not too bitter.
Not too bitter?
No, not too bitter.
Yeah, Frost
From
is in
India?
Heinsberg. It's right down the road from where I am. It's a nice little place.
Yeah, they make good beer.
Yeah. Another local brew.
I'm glad we're reverting to local breweries and taverns that do like, light fare and food and nice craft beers. It is a great community builder in every small town. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you been to
agreed.
Stone Corral in Richmond?
No.
I was just there like about 2 hours ago.
Fabulous place. Love that place.
Yeah.
Great food.
I had a client meeting. She lives in Duxbury, and we met in the middle. And she wanted to meet somewhere. I was like, hey, we'll meet there. And it turns out we couldn't be inside, and they didn't have any outside seating, so we went to the park in Richmond instead. But yeah, great spot. Great beers.
Good day for the park.
Oh, dude.
It's been a beautiful day, yeah. Not as hot as it was last week, thank goodness.
Besides this work choke collar they give me,
Poor baby.
Alex, you get to wear hoodies and sweatshirts to work, and
I know. I'm pretty lucky in that regard.
Stinking things on, man.
Yeah, but it's the waist up for me.
I got pants all the way to my ankles. It's horrible.
5'10". I can never get pants to go all the way to my ankles.
Me too.
Especially if I ever want to wear heels.
Mm-hmm.
The other place in Richmond that's pretty nice is Hatchet, and they've been doing takeaway cocktails. I don't know if you noticed that, but
That's a good idea.
you go to the little booth where you normally get creamies, but you can actually get cocktails. And the only reason I know,
Creamies are just
that's
not enough
clever.
at the time of COVID.
yeah,
Oh, that's clever.
one of my friends is a bartender there, so she was telling us about that.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I've seen ads for my Deli 126. A couple of my friends work there. Has anybody been there? It's like this secret place that looks like a shut-down restaurant, and then you go through the freezer in this restaurant that looks closed, and you enter into this little speakeasy.
Where is it?
What is this?
Deli 126.
So do you guys
Where?
know where La Monte used to be right next to Vermont Pub and Brewery?
Yeah.
So
it's down
like
there.
the
Okay.
same location. But La Monte closed maybe a year ago, and you walk in and right to the right.
I miss Lamontes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, my buddy Ian Sutherland used to work there. You know Ian N or
I do not know. No.
he was
why did they close?
I don't know.
Well,
I
this
think
is
a lot of times with restaurants, what you have is a chef who's got a great idea, and they're like, hey, I'm going to open up this restaurant, and they're really a technician, not necessarily a manager or an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get burned out of doing something, all those hours, all those evenings, all those weekends.
This couple
Well,
I
because
know.
Burlington, this
that
whole
had a-
area has so many restaurants, but half of them, they don't last very long. You're right.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a
they
tough
open and they
competition.
close. Yeah, well, there's a lot. I mean, there's just a ton of restaurants up here. Yeah.
Well, we knew this couple that owned Sky Burgers. Remember them?
Mhm.
And they had a heck of a time with getting wait staff. It was really an uphill slog.
That was at the bottom of Church Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
yeah.
So we're just at 7:22, everybody. So I think we should start the official program. I think all of us mostly know each other, at least tangentially here. So I want to give. I know I sent scripts out to all of our speakers, but I do want to say, like, we're all friends here. So I don't mind too much if people go off script. So I'm gonna try something. I think I can make our opening speaker, Dick Valentinetti, larger somehow. Let me see. There we go.
Yeah, I am large.
Large is life.
Hey, Dick, you and I can go get a haircut together.
Yeah, well, I have, basically my wife doesn't like my beard, and so I'm going to shave it when she gives me a haircut.
That's a good idea. But you're going to look great in a ponytail.
Yeah, no, I can't, no.
How about a
I'm
man?
just going to do the Prince Valiant look.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
You need a man bun.
Dick, the guy who cut my hair, I can get him to cut yours if you want.
At least I got plenty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the opening of the closing of the 6th annual Lung Force Walk for Vermont. I'm so glad that we ended up getting support for the ALA effort during this time. Basically, it is a strange time. The mission of the ALA has never been more appropriate, more urgent,
Right.
and more apparent than during this pandemic.
Right. Right.
It is been really a change in life, society, and values that have really changed so much during the last few months. And I'm glad that we are at least able to get together, at least online, to finalize the walk. Up to a few weeks ago, I don't know if any of us knew much about Zoom, and now we're on it every day. So, you know, the ALA was formed 115 years ago in response to tuberculosis, an airborne contagion that has affected lungs. You know, many of you know I collect a lot of stuff, and to show you is a pin for for the ALA back when it was the TB Association, and even before then, they had another organization called the Modern Health Crusaders.
Yeah.
And they were kind of the first ones that kind of focused on this. And ALA and its predecessors were pioneers in connecting between public health and the environment, public health and human behavior, and public health and education, and how important it was to educate the public in order to garner support for those efforts to make changes in both the environment and human behavior. Now we're in a pandemic. It attacks the lungs. It is a contagion. It has a real large environmental factor as well as how do we change human human behavior? I mean, the mask issue is just unbelievable in how it's become politicized. So after 115 years, supporters like those that have done this walk in the past to provide financial support helps the Lung Association to fight this disease. And once again, we are needed. This 6-year Lung Force Walk is the signature campaign issue to help deal with issues dealing with the lung, mostly focusing in the past on cancer, lung cancer, but now also looking at things that associate with this pandemic. So tonight, it's a celebration of life and breath and a future that we will have without lung disease. Thank you. Now you can put me on the small screen.
All right. All right. Let me
Well,
see
I
if
was
can...
just going to share too, Jana.
Yes.
Jana has brought a ton of shirts to me because I've been in and out of the hospital more lately. And so what I've done is most of those shirts were like in a closet over, in our old building, and they weren't doing much. So even though they're like for the year 2018, not a big deal. So when I go in for, my radiation and all these other things I have to do now, I take them in and give them to people in there. And I got to tell you, these people don't know. We've missed a huge group, tons of them in the hospital, because they don't even know about this walk. I mean, down in radiation, they don't. In the biopsy thing, they're thrilled. They're just really the nurses in these places. I've been giving them all these shirts. I mean, I take in a wad with me and check out their sizes and everything. And the visiting nurses that come see me and stuff, and I make them, I say, are you really going to wear these? I don't want to waste them. And I've given some to my neighbors who are out walking all the time. I think it's getting out there more, and these people are, whether they pay money or not, I don't know, but at least they say they'll wear the shirts. So I'm hoping that they will, because turquoise still isn't known that well, and hopefully, again, because they just don't know about what the statistics are with cancer and stuff. So if we can, my sense is if we can get more out just in that way, that will just be helpful for people to know stuff. So Jana probably has more shirts around too if you need them, right?
I do, and I have plenty of swag and giveaways.
Yep,
so
I
if
know.
folks feel like they have some folks who might be inspired to join us, please just let me know. I do want to emphasize the Lung Force walks have been campaigning for lung cancer and lung cancer awareness for the past 6 years. And during those 6 years, we've raised millions of dollars across the country and funded research that has resulted in 22 new lung cancer treatments, which is really important because lung cancer is still our nation's #1 cancer killer, and it's a rising concern for both men and women, but it's rising particularly fast for women. And so we really want people to be more aware of screening, especially since we have just recently lowered the ages for screening for lung cancer. And I'm sorry, I just want to look up my stats here. Yeah, so yes, so
well, and I'll just go ahead.
Down to 50 years old now, and it's also changed from a 30-year pack history to just a 20-year pack history now.
Thank you. Those were the numbers I was looking for, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And I want to give a huge shout out to a lot of our local sponsors. this year especially, it's been difficult as we transferred to a virtual event and had to cancel our expo for the year and postpone it. I really want to give a shout out to our local sponsors, local and national sponsorship. It makes our events and programs possible. They're a huge factor in our success at the local level. So along with our national sponsor, Kindred, I'd also like to thank all of our other sponsors who helped make the virtual Lung Force Walk possible today. I especially want to shout out Eagle Country Radio. They not only sponsored ads for the Lung Force Walk, but they also made their own challenge video and posted it on their Facebook, and it was really hilarious. It's about smelly feet. You should really look it up. It's marvelous. I also want to give a shout out to Boehringer Ingelheim, AstraZeneca, the Vermont Department of Health, the University of Vermont Medical Center, and Blue Cross Blue Shield Vermont. And I wanted to share with you a couple of messages, particularly from the Vermont Department of Health and UVM Medical Center, because they have been such longtime supporters of this event and all of the American Lung Association's events. So I hope you'll join me. I have just two short 1-minute videos from each of these sponsors, and I wanted to give them a chance to send out some of their most piquant messages. So I am going to share my screen. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen and share my computer audio. Wish me luck.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Okay, share. And then let's see. Okay, I think I'm on computer audio. Let me see if you can hear this. Can you hear that? No. Okay.
Well, you
Hang on,
mean
I know this is possible.
you're going to have to get your microphone pickup right near the computer.
There is a setting, but I feel like you have to go. We literally just learned this on our call the other day. Now I can't remember.
Well, if you go over to the microphone on the left, you can select a speaker.
Yeah, there is a way. Shoot, to share the computer's audio.
Oh, I've done it before. I just turn my microphone right towards the computer and it picks it up fine.
Let's see. Share computer sound. Here we go. All right. Now can you hear?
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a little message from the Department of Health. And here is a little message from the UVM Medical Center.
Oh, God, I know these.
We know those guys.
I thought they were.
We do.
Bad prognosis.
Oops. Sorry.
Lung cancer has a bad prognosis. Kills more people than breast, prostate, and colon cancer combined. And there's so much stigma around smoking that it tends to be underfunded. Even though it seems to grow unchecked in the body, it's really difficult to grow on a plate or outside of the body.
The work I do with Matt is to try to get a sample from a patient, grow that in the culture, and try to establish certain therapies we can use on the specific patient.
Yost was doing a lot of interesting things, using really innovative approaches to grow cells.
I'm very dependent on the physician to get these samples. So I was lucky enough that Matt is very excited about this research.
I'm always impressed by our patients because we tell them going in, like, this is not going to ever benefit you. Allowing us to take these extra samples, to do this work in the lab, this is not ever going to benefit you. I'm always amazed at kind of the generosity of the people and how willing people are to participate.
My dad passed away at 45-year-old of lung cancer. Maybe deep down there's a force what drove me in this direction. I don't know.
Whatever you think, medicine is, at some level, we're in the relationship business.
Very nice.
Okay, that was Garth and who else, right?
Matt
Lindsay
Kinsey.
and Joost van der Velde. They're faculty at the medical school.
But okay, was that Mina's husband by any chance? No.
Yes, it's Prema.
Prema's husband.
Oh, Prema's. Oh, okay. I
Present.
kind of thought maybe. Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm so proud of our local institutions for supporting lung health so much. And part of the way that they do it is by supporting the Lung Association as well. So I want to give a big shout out to our local sponsors. And last but not least, I really want to give a big thank you to our Lung Force Walk Cabinet, Lisa Lambden, Darren Gillies. Am I pronouncing your last name right, Darren? Oh, I think he's on mute.
Hey, Jana.
Hey, yes, that's correct.
Okay, Darren Gillies, Tracy McGinnis from VTC, and Britta Brickell. They've been awesome meeting through the pandemic to help us make adjustments and get the Lung Force virtual event off the ground. So can everybody help me give them a big virtual round of applause.
Jana?
Yes.
This is David Kaminsky. I just wanted to mention regarding the Lung Association, one of the most important things they also do is every year help with the public health program. And I've been lucky enough to work with Alex the last couple of years, and Jerry Davis did it before me. It's a wonderful program, and it really benefits our medical students because they learn about important issues regarding public health. And at the same time, we're able to come up with conclusions in a few various programs like the idling law, the school bus idling law that I think Jerry was involved in many years ago. So again, I really hats off to the Lung Association for participating in that as well. Thank you.
And speaking of Jerry, Jerry has some announcements about some advocacy victories and new initiatives that are coming down the pike. So let me see if I can find Jerry's video here and pop him into the spotlight. There you go.
Good evening. I'm really glad to be here. I'm probably the oldest member of the Lung Association board, having been associated, I think, with this board now for something that's approaching 45 years or more. Somehow they still put up with me. Let me tell you a little bit about some of the victories that we've experienced in the last year or so with relation to advocacy and legislation. One of the most important is in tobacco. As you may be aware, tobacco smoking during teenage years and in the transition to adulthood is really critical in that if people begin smoking when they're young teenagers, they often have trouble quitting by the time that they're in young adulthood. And similarly, if they don't start smoking, it's a very powerful preventive in terms of their never becoming a smoker during their lifetime. The Tobacco 21 initiative is very important in that. A report from the National Academy of Medicine revealed that increasing the age of the sale for tobacco products from 18 to 21 years of age could prevent as many as 223,000 deaths among people born between 2000 and the present time. Including reducing lung cancer deaths by as many as 50,000. Now, last April, Vermont became the 14th state in the nation to pass a state law that mandated tobacco 21 as the legal limit. You can't buy tobacco or tobacco products if you're less than 21. Amazingly, pardon me, amazingly enough, in December 2019, this legislation was included in the federal year-end legislative package, was signed into law, and was signed by Donald Trump, so that not selling tobacco products to individuals less than 21 years of age is now nationwide a federal law. I think it's very exciting. A second exciting area is clean air. This marks the 50th anniversary of the Clean Air Act. And in order to celebrate, the Lung Association introduced a new initiative called Stand Up for Clean Air. The air pollution that we breathe can harm anyone's health, and the climate change is definitely making air quality worse. But together, through some collective action, we can all help to improve air quality and address climate change. You can take the pledge, and you can find out what you can do for clean air if you go to the Lung Association website and look under air. A posting will appear after this Zoom chat that will give you a link directly there.
Actually, I just posted it in the chat right now. So if you go to your menu on the bottom and click on the chat, you should be able to click the link.
Talk about up to the minute. Another important area, one that is not yet a victory, but the American Lung Association has joined a coalition of other nonprofits with over 500 employees to advocate for the type of payroll relief that has been available to smaller organizations since March. As you may be aware, larger organizations with more than 500 employees have generally been excluded from the payroll protection program, although some very large corporations have been able to work around that. Non-for-profits, including the Lung Association, are now advocating for being able to join a program similar to that. Jana's going to be posting some information about that probably as I speak on the
it's in the chat right now.
There you go. And the last area I'd like to mention is a really important one, and that's the initiatives that the American Lung Association has begun in terms of COVID-19 research and public health. The Lung Association has committed $25 million to research related to COVID-19, both primary research about the disease, treatment, and public health measures to advocate for prevention. Thank you for the opportunity to share those ideas with you. Jana, I think you'd like me now to introduce Charlie Irvin. Is that correct?
That's right.
Great. Well,
let me see. Where's Charlie? Here we go.
He's up there somewhere, but you're about to hear from Dr. Charles Irvin. He is a world-renowned expert on lung disease, asthma research, and as you probably noticed, Charlie is she's zooming in from the Maroon Bells in the hills near Aspen, Colorado. Now, when I first knew Charlie, the Maroon Bells had white on the top of them, but Charlie didn't. We've been friends for many years. I actually even had a little bit of hair then, and Charlie's not much. Charlie's hair much darker than it is now. And Charlie's going to tell you a bit more about some of the exciting research initiatives that have been undertaken.
Well, the research portfolio for the American Lung Association has always been a real standout for young investigators. So when I was a graduate student, I applied for and got a postdoctoral fellowship from the ALA. And then my very first grant as a faculty member in Denver was from the American Lung Association of Colorado. And those early grants, even though they're small, are really important to the young people. And that's, I think, one of the things that ALA is really focused on. More recently, they've developed grant mechanisms for lung cancer, interstitial pulmonary fibrosis, pulmonary hypertension, variety of other things. But the latest initiative is for understanding and better treatments, et cetera, for COVID-19. Now, the interesting thing about that is that when they sent out the call for applications, I think they were expecting sort of their standard fare of, I don't know, 40, 50 grants. They got over 200. They got grants from some really amazing people, really incredible scientists who are not normally associated with lung disease. They got grants from other countries, which of course they had to turn back. But we were faced with a big problem. So the ALA National asked me to help them out with that. And we've whittled the grants down to about 60 now, 66, I think the number is. And we'll have a study section for them in a couple of weeks. The problem with it is it's really sad because I had to review 50 grants quickly, quick turnaround. And there were so many grants that the science is terrific, but it didn't quite meet, you know, like today, like how can we move the needle today and really have an effect today? It's not that there was bad research. It's in fact, there were very few of them that were really poor. They were all very good. And they were going to answer interesting questions. It's just some are scientifically interesting and just aren't going to have the impact. Although we you know, in the end of the day, we really never know. So the good news out of that, I guess, is that in the next cycles of grants applications, we'll see many of those come back. And I think in the end of the day, there'll be a major impact. Now, one of the reasons I bring this up is because our group here at University of Vermont put in 3 applications, which doesn't sound a lot when there's 200, but when you look at all the other big institutions around the United States, that's right up there with all the places that you think about. And I think that speaks volumes about the robust research in the lung and lung disease that we have going on here in Vermont. So that the money raised through these efforts, while it may go to national, it comes back to us. And that's the important thing, that, and it pays for research here, and it also pays for jobs. I mean, the normal multiplier for these things is about 2.2, so that for every grant you get of, say, $1 million, the effect on the local economy is $2.2 million in sort of indirect kinds of calculations. The other, our big piece is the Airways Clinical Research Centers Award. They've changed the name. I'm still remembering it, the old name. And we continue to be very active nationally on that. Unbelievably active, actually. Ann Dixon, who's on this call, is leading several projects. I've led a project. David's led projects. We're all working together to develop projects for our lung cohort study that's about to start this fall. And everybody on this line is going to be able to help us with that study. We're going to have to recruit about 225 young people between ages 25 and 35. This is when lung function hits its peak. And then if we get the number of people into this cohort, we should be able to study them for decades and really understand the genesis of lung disease, which is, we really don't have a good handle on that. And this will be the first time, and we're going to be at the forefront. And I really mean it. Everybody on this call, we're going to need your help to identify potential participants in this study, including yourselves. So if you're healthy, well, Dr. Davis, I think we may have to exclude you. Maybe if you dyed your hair.
Yeah, that would do it. Yeah,
that would do it. That's the trick here. But
Charlie, I think I'm going to have to become, it'll have to be in another life. I'll recycle again. And if I don't come back as a rabbit,
young at heart or young at lung.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, how Charlie, you're speaking to a bunch of geriatrics here.
Yeah, but
We're
you
older
know
than-
young people. Come on.
Yeah, well, no, I know, but I'm saying on the board. I mean, we're all old. Oh yeah, so the
Yeah.
hospital actually filled with young people.
Well,
I'll talk
Alex,
to them all. Yeah.
Alex and Jenna
Alex
aren't
good,
young.
yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
Corey's
good.
throwing his hands up. He's kind of offended. I'm young too. I think
Yeah, I
I'm.
know.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm no longer young.
But are
Well,
you,
there's an age thing he mentioned. Yeah.
Gina? Are you considered a millennial?
I am an elder millennial.
Okay.
I'm one of the oldest millennials there is.
Yeah, I'm a full-blown millennial.
I think I'll stop now. It's deteriorating. Why does it always deteriorate when I talk? I don't understand that.
That's a belief.
I think I'm going to go fishing here in this lake behind me.
Great idea.
Well, I should turn the mic over then to Alex, who has some updates for us on upcoming events that are sponsored by the American Lung Association, some of which really might be of interest to folks. So Alex, you have to unmute, my dear.
Thanks.
There you go.
Thanks for that. Yeah, as Jana said, obviously we were really bummed to postpone the expo, but really wasn't much choice in the matter. It was a nationwide decision, and yeah, you know, it's with the population that we host there, with the patients and caregivers, it was never really a possibility. So that being said, we still want to offer some education. So what we're doing, the organization is doing, we're doing 4 virtual national expos. And the first 2 of which are going to be in November. There's going to be one for healthcare professionals and then one for patients and caregivers. It's going to be set up the same way. The healthcare professionals will be asked to pay a fee to register, and there will be contact hours available, of course. We'll be offering it for free to the patients and caregivers. And then we'll be offering those again in May. And the reason we're doing that is November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and then May is Asthma Month. So kind of trying to be a little timely with those. And then the other cool thing the organization is doing virtually as well are our COVID-19 Town Hall series. And what we're doing with those is we're bringing kind of some leading experts together to share science-based information. We actually just had one today, and if you can register retroactively and they will send you the recording. And this one was really interesting. It was air quality and COVID-19 connections, health impact, and racial disparities. You can find all these at lung.org, lung health diseases, /lung disease, look up COVID-19.
I actually dropped a link for the town halls right in the chat.
Jana, A+. She's and then we have another one coming up in August. We've been doing one a month this summer, and it's coming up on August 12th, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's actually Central Time, so for us that's 4 to 5. And this one is COVID-19 and mental health, spatial distancing, not social distancing. And then you can watch the recordings of all of them. So June's was demystifying testing for COVID-19. So I've been trying to promote these to all of our regular expo participants, just so they have some educational opportunities. And so far the feedback has been really good. They're being hosted by our national CEO, Harold Wimmer.
You said we could register for them retroactively, and then they will send us the recording.
Yeah, so it looks like you actually don't even need to register. So for the ones that have already taken place, there's a button on the webpage and it says watch recording. So
okay, I should
you won't even have to register. But we obviously miss seeing everyone's face in person. But I think that the organization really is trying to adapt well and make sure we're still offering a lot of education, because we need science-based education right now more than ever. So I've, for one, have been proud to see what's been coming out.
And speaking of education, I also just wanted to share my screen actually, because there's this marvelous graphic put on by one of my favorite web cartoonists. And it's basically a risk chart for COVID-19. And I wanted to point out that staying home, doing video chats, and going for walks were the top low-risk activities, and we're all doing that.
I want to ride an electric scooter, though. That's low risk.
Yeah, I want to go down a water slide. I'm psyched that that's low risk.
I like this winning a test tube contest at a COVID testing lab.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
These are funny. Wow, I like this. Gianna, can you share that link in the...
I will totally share that link. Let's see. I'm going to stop my share, get into the chat.
I'm posting that on my Facebook page.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and it's actually pretty accurate. So it's a XKCD, and if you're not, especially all of the clinical folks, if you are not familiar with XKCD, you are missing out. It's basically stick figure comics for nerds.
Not that she's calling you guys nerds.
But there's a lot of highly scientific jargon and like scientific level jokes that if you don't know some clinical terminology, you might not get them. So it's a really brilliant comic. I highly recommend it. But we have come to the exciting part of the evening where there are some celebrations of our amazing efforts and some prizes given out. So I am going to cancel my own spotlight and hand the mic over to Corey, who is going to give some prizes out today.
That's the rumor. So hi, everybody. I'm Corey Heverin, and Jana has asked me to just say a few things and recognize some people. And she wanted me to remind everybody that the American Lung Association is able to fund research and grants, public education, screening, and advocacy efforts because of the individual efforts and team efforts of people all across the country. We're all very, very grateful for the efforts of our supporters this year, when so many causes have tugged at our hearts and so much has been upended, in our lives. Your determination is amazing, and we just want to recognize some of our top teams and individual fundraisers. And so when it comes to the participants, there was many, but we're going to just list the top 5. We want to say in 5th place, Molly Lewis, who's not here with us. Thank you. Linen Moy, I believe is how do you say his name, or Linen Moy. In 3rd place, our very own Jana Bagley. In 2nd place, myself, Corey Heverin, and I will be receiving a gift card to Lunig's Bistro. And our number 1 participant, everybody please unmute your phones, unmute your computers. Jerry, you got to push the button. There we go. To Darren Gillies. Is it Gillies? Gillies, my apologies. He is our number 1 participant.
Hey, Darren!
And he's receiving a couple gift cards to some local establishments supporting local business in this
awesome.
very important time. So no, thank you. When it comes to our top teams, we have the Vermont Lung Center coming in 5th place. Breathe Free ALA staff, the Vermont Clean Air in 3rd place, our leadership board, you will be receiving one of these medals right here. Very exciting, very exciting. There's also a gift basket over here for 1st place. And I got to ask Marie about this because I don't know the name brands of things. Morocco Noil? Is that like Gucci but different? This looks important, but I don't use one of these. So that's part of our gift bag. We've got some beautiful big heart red pillows. And the thing that I almost couldn't come through the house, the door of my house with, is this popcorn basket full of chocolate. And part of that is Twix bars. And my wife, her number 1 thing in the whole world, even ahead of me, is Twix bars.
I think that one's yours, Darren, and the other gift basket and the pillows are for the top team captain.
Well, we might know who the top team captain is here very shortly. So the number 2 team in all of this was the leadership board. And as I previously mentioned, but our number 1 team, Team 1111, I don't know if that means to make a wish or what exactly that stands for. But Team 1111, you're getting Lung Force medals, the gift basket, and the team captain is Lisa Lambden. Thank you, Lisa, so much.
It's Darren. It's all Darren's work. Great job.
Clean sweep over there.
Woohoo!
So we also want to recognize some of the challenge participants. Of course, Lisa Lambden for her very innovative kissing booth video, which won a gift certificate to the Windjammer restaurant. The Lung Center's hashtag #ItTurnedTurquoise.
I turned turquoise.
Oh, I turned turquoise. Oh, I read an extra T in there, didn't I? I turned turquoise. Zoom photo with all their turquoise t-shirts, which got them a $100 gift card to the Essex Inn and Spa. I don't know how they split that amongst them, but we'll figure it out. Or they will figure it out, I should say. And finally, we just want to share a little slideshow of past walk celebrations. Again, thank you, everybody.
Corey, before I start the slideshow, I'm going to cancel your spotlight. And could you please maximize your screen so you can see everybody? Close your eyes and point to your screen and tell me who you land on, because that person is going to get this huge gallon of maple syrup.
Wait.
All right, like this. Am I doing this right? I'm gonna just touch the screen.
Yep, touch the screen, open your eyes, who you're pointing at.
That's me.
No, you have to do it again.
Yeah. That would be Kaylin Gates.
I can't. I live in New York. I can't have it.
Again, Corey, again.
Let me take it out. Let me remove it from speaker view. Back in.
Oh yeah.
Alex Crimmin, is that possible?
No.
No.
It could be, I guess.
No, we're staff. We're not supposed to win prizes.
All right, try
do it again, Corey.
Oh, that was nobody. Charlie Irving.
Charlie, you got a gallon of maple syrup.
Charlie,
that was easy.
Charlie, are you going to have us all over for a pancake breakfast?
Exactly.
I never win anything. This is amazing. No, seriously, I never win.
I do take bribes, Charlie.
Okay.
Well, now you've got an entire gallon of grade A
God.
amber maple syrup from Tilton Farm.
Ooh.
That's gold.
Definitely gold.
And so, folks, I wanted to kind of end our evening with a little stroll down Amnesia Lane. So I'm going to share my screen once again. Doop. Is everybody with me?
Yep.
Oh, can everybody hear the computer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I was hoping that was so nice. I was hoping my ice cream scooping would make it.
I didn't get a shot of the ice cream scoopers because I think I was the one taking pictures and I was scooping like a fiend.
Yes.
So who did that?
Jana?
Jana?
Jana, go ahead, Charlie.
Who did that film?
Me.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. And a big shout out to you. You've been just so fantastic with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Really, really thank you.
I really
Absolutely,
appreciate
Jenna. High
everybody's
marks.
support
Really
and
good job.
enthusiasm.
Not just with the film, but with everything.
Yeah,
Really
outstanding.
good job.
And
Well done.
Jana?
Yeah, Marie?
I want to say one thing before we all leave tonight, because I'm not getting together with you all the time. I want to thank Jerry for, we had a conversation one night at a board meeting where we were talking about screening for lung cancer. And Ann Dixon and David Kaminsky, I've been in your studies over the years. And then Ann is my pulmonologist, and Jerry I was working with before too. And I want to thank the three of you because it's because of you that we've caught what I have now, and I am the patient advocate. So I just want to thank you very, very, very much because it's stage one.
Marie.
And
you are exactly the kind of person that we're so thankful that lung cancer screening has come so far, that we're able to detect disease when it's early enough so that it's much more amenable to treatment. So we couldn't be happier. Thank you for saying that.
Let's have a hand for all of our heroes and survivors.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
We're behind you, Marie, 100%.
Oh, I know you are.
Thank you so much for volunteering for research. That takes a lot of time and commitment, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. It's been fun. I've met many wonderful people.
We have a lot to be grateful for, everybody, and I want to thank you all so much for coming tonight and sharing kind of some of the triumphs of the walk. I wanted to let you know that we are just about at 50% of our ambitious goal this year, and considering the number of disruptions that we have been facing in our fundraising efforts, that's really something to crow about. I wanted to remind everyone that fundraising is still open until the end of the month. So if you wanted to put out one more set of emails or post one more time on Facebook and just help us get to 50% before we shut down, that would be really awesome. I should be sending out incentive emails shortly, so that if you reached a certain goal or a certain milestone that qualified you for a gift, you should be able to get it. And I expect t-shirts to be in shortly for this year. I'll be contacting each and every participant who earned a t-shirt or one of the self-pledge gift items and making arrangements for either picking it up, delivering it to you, or sending it through the mail. So you can expect that from me in the coming days. And other than that, if anybody else has any final words before we all say goodbye, thank you all so much.
Well, thank you.
And I'd also listen.
Thank you.
Thanks for
and
all
I want
your
to
good
give
efforts
Jana.
at all times.
I want to give Jana a lot of credit. Her dad was in a terrible auto accident about a week ago. Never mind, Jana.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
My dad was in a terrible head-on collision on Wednesday night, and they let my entire family into the hospital because they all thought he was not going to make it. They kept him cut open for 3 days while they did 3 rounds of surgery on him, and he was on a ventilator. He received 42 units of blood, all told. And yesterday, he got out of the ICU, and he is out of the hospital in another week.
And Jana pulled everything together with a big smile, and we should give her a big hand. That was, a lot going on. So,
I'm telling everybody that death has not a cent left to his name after my dad cheated him so hard.
Well, there you go, kiddo. There you go. All right, I'm gone. Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Be safe,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.
Well,
Bye-bye.
nice seeing everybody.